Look, before we get into the content, it's really important that you guys hit that subscribe button. We're out here every single day working for y'all, trying to hit y'all with the best content. And what motivates us to keep going is people like you. So hit the subscribe button, join the conversation, join the Deuce Gang.
What he said. All right, y'all, what's going on, man? What's going on, this guy? How you doing, man?
I'm here. Today is a day of the week. I don't know when this is coming.
Well, we've spoken many times about how athletic you are and how your sports knowledge is vast. Right?
It is. It really is.
Well, I'm sure you're aware of a show on TV called Undisputed with Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharp, and a lady named Jenny Taft. You know the show, right?
I'm more impressed by the names than the show. I love those names.
Skip Bayless.
Congrats to the parents. You did a fantastic job. Yeah.
Well, there was honestly an episode recently where Jenny actually got into it with Skip. And Skip has a history of, not really being the nicest guy towards the female hosts on his show previously. He's had accusations, but they got into it about a topic about coaches. About what coaches should look like, what your coach should be like, how he should inspire you. And, they had a very interesting take on it, but I'm going to let Jenny and Skip do this for me. I'm not going to explain it.
Well, I don't think that's a fair shot.
Is everyone who's a good coach as fit as you, Skip? I don't think that's a fair shot whatsoever.
I wouldn't want. I said it was a personal preference, and I wouldn't want him to be my head coach.
That have not had the perfect ideal physique, including my college coach. So I don't think that's a fair shot.
Okay.
And I'm allowed to have an opinion, Skip. I am allowed to say whatever I want to say on this show, as you do too. Bruce Broussard will join us, and he will react to Westbrook's comment, and maybe I have more to say next.
Yes. That all came from Skip Bayless saying that he doesn't think Mike McCarthy is a good coach because he's overweight. And the fact that he's overweight, it undermines his ability to motivate his football players. So that's where that came from.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that. Not. What the hell does that have to do with anything?
Listen, Skip Bayless is known for making his wild, crazy accusations about a lot of things. Usually about LeBron James, but this one right here, Jenny Taft had a right to step in and get as angry as she got, because if you look back on the history of sports, some of the greatest coaches in the world are not always in the best health. They're not able to run up and down the courts or the field or whatever sport they're playing. They don't run 4-second 40-yard dashes. It's about knowledge when you're a coach, I think.
Let me just speak to that for a second. When you are an athlete and you are playing the sport, depending on the sport, yes, you need to exercise your muscles. You should be in shape. Basketball, you should be able to run back and forth on that court several times. Football player, et cetera, soccer, blah, 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 blah. You need to be able to do that. When you're a coach, you're not doing any of those things. This is the only muscle you got to work out. Listen, man, some of the most knowledgeable people when it comes to sports are fat slobs that have probably never played the sport in their entire life. They can't speak from experience because they can't get their ass up and down the court, right? Or whatever the field is. But they know pretty much anything you want to ask them about that particular sport. What are we talking about here? That's the most ignorant thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
Yeah, if listen, you can go through the sports. You can go through the sports and just look at the coaches. If I asked you who you thought the best coach in the NBA of all time is, most people are going to say Phil Jackson. Phil Jackson could barely walk towards the end of his career. No, real talk. He had to have custom chairs made and everything because his knees were gone.
Oh, that's not funny. That's
real life. No, it's real. Yeah, he's horrible. Bill Belichick, consistently called the greatest coach of all time in football, has probably never run 10 yards in his life. You look at his shape, it's round. He wears the hoodie to hide the round Coca-Cola 2-liter bottle shape that he has. He's not the fittest coach.
Bill, embrace your body, man. Embrace your body. Go ahead. Sorry.
And listen, I don't know a lot about other sports to call out their coaches, but I'm willing to bet that there's some sports, like even track and field, where the greatest coaches are probably not the fittest. Maybe they were during their careers, but now they're older and now they have to use their minds to do these things. So the fact that Skip Bayless wants to point this out, and he is a Dallas Cowboys fan, diehard fan, to me, is the most confusing thing. This is the most confusing argument that I've ever seen him make. And Jenny Taft going off on him and putting him in his place like that, I love it. I love it.
So from the very little bit that I know about Skip, other than his name is amazing, what it sounds like is he probably realized he said something very stupid, but he didn't want to back down from his point to a woman. So he'd rather just jump out the window and look like an idiot than just say, hey, my bad, to a woman. So lesson learned, people.
It's a crazy thing, man. I don't know. We'll have to see what Deuce Gang thinks about this, man. Do you think the size matters of the coach? Do you think that players are more motivated when their coach is able to participate in the activities with them versus the one who just simply creates the activities and has them run through it? I don't know, man. They got to let us know. Deuce Gang, you got to let us know, man. I don't know. It's crazy to me.
Leave it in the comments. I personally think it's all about this, executing the play. Think about it when you're going to war. The generals who create, they're not in the battlefields with you. You don't understand what I'm saying?
Right.
In some cases. So it's just look at it like that. This ain't the movies, nigga. All right, man. I'm just saying. What the hell? Imagine Coach Carter. You remember the Coach Carter movie? Samuel L. Jackson?
Yeah.
He ain't jumping on the court, and it's not happening.
No.
What are we
saying?
Too busy
yelling. Yelling. There were snakes on the plane, on the court. He was too busy.
Come on, man. Are we not going to do your other video?
Is we're gonna go to the other?
I want to get the videos out of the way.
Okay. See, I wasn't following along with the whole video. Get the video out of the way type sequences, man. Yeah, we can go on to the videos. I don't know, because we've been talking about. Well, I've been talking about trying to get away, right? And the fact that I don't have my vaccine shots, and there's some countries who different recognitions for who they will allow, who they won't allow, and everything like that. You personally have said, if it comes to going to the States, you're not about that. You're not about that life at all. No flying, no driving, no way to get there. No.
I won't even fly over that country.
Listen, what I'm learning is apparently you don't even have to get to the country to meet the crazy people that come from there, because apparently what's been going on a lot of airlines is a lot of passengers have been duct taped in order to restrain them from various actions. There is a 13-year-old who's the most recent 13-year-old boy who was throwing a hissy fit on a flight, arguing with his mom, arguing with the flight attendants, kicking out windows or attempting to kick out windows. They had to get the duct tape, literally get the duct tape and tape this man to his seat. Now, listen, can we get the news report on this, please?
News tonight, another disturbance on a flight to LAX caught on camera. Witnesses tell us tonight a 13-year-old boy tried kicking the window out next to his seat and became physical with his own mother.
We're told it happened 1 hour into that American Airlines flight from Maui. Fellow passengers helping restrain the boy. And then appeared a flight attendant duct taped that child to his seat. The plane was then diverted to Honolulu. The boy was then taken into custody and no one was injured.
No one was injured? How about the mother's pride? How about the mother's pride? Okay, so you think that's bad? No. Let me take you to another story. Just happened a few months ago. So this was another passenger, America Airlines. This happened on American Airlines, and this lady had to be restrained after she allegedly started to bite, spit, and attack flight agents. This is real life. This is what's happening on your trip back from Maui.
Honestly, bro, I have to attribute this behavior to isolation. Imagine for a second, like for a year, just being by yourself, right? Being by yourself or being with your immediate nuclear family. That's it. That's all you know. And even when you did go outside, you had all the space in the world because you got a social distance. Also, you were proactively avoiding crowds. So then now you fast forward a year later. So a year of doing this. And then now a year later, you've been on an airplane before. You know how cramped those things are. Shoulder to shoulder, barely move. That is anxiety inducing, period. So to me, the fact, I know the story you're talking about, and there's other situations like this. I personally think we're going to see more as people start to, adjust to, well, everyday life. I think we're going to start seeing more things like this, even outside of the airplane. This is what I'm thinking. Elevator incidents.
I hear what you're saying. No, I hear what you're saying. I get it, but people have to understand that I don't get how you just forget to be a human being and just have some type of decency. You understand? Because when you go on these airlines, like the kid's fighting his mom, that's probably nothing that's new. They're coming back from Maui. Wow, if that's not a first world story, I've never heard one. Who's gonna fight their mom coming back from Maui? Cool, whatever. The second lady decides that she's going to start biting, spitting, and all of this stuff to the flight attendants, who she's never met before in her life. You know what I mean? And then there's a third story of another gentleman here, and this one is the wildest because this is just privilege I've never heard of before. 22-year-old Maxwell Berry starts hysterically screaming and hitting the flight attendant, and he had to be duct taped to his seat, and he started screaming, "I'm worth $2 million. I'm worth $2 million," before punching the flight attendants.
Okay,
that is not due to isolation. That cannot be due just to isolation.
Bro, none of these stories make any sense. You could dial it all the way back. Buddy starts screaming and spazzing out of nowhere. Fine, that's the one. The kid spazzing out on his mom. There's no. As far as I know, there's no context as to what the argument was about with his mom. And then the other lady spitting and all that. These are random outbursts. I want to see these people 2018, 2017. I want to see them then. Because this, to me, like I said, like you get put in a situation, like I have anxiety. I actually have it. Right? It's a lot more controlled now, but I have it. And I'll be honest with you, I'm nervous to get on an airplane. Right. Even prior to pandemic life and self-isolation. When I get on an airplane, I mentally prepare for an anxiety attack. I'm already ready for it. So I talk myself through it. I know what I'm going to do. So now compound that with the life I've been living for almost 2 years and then getting on an airplane for 5 hours, shoulder to shoulder with some niggas I don't even know. I'm liable to do anything. Now, again, I'm not saying that's exactly what these people are dealing with. I'm just saying you can't put it past it. This is something, quick sidebar, super quick sidebar. There was a story that went viral. The clubs are open. This is after the pandemic. And this guy went up to a girl. This is just when the club's open. Went up to a girl, asked her for the number. The girl clowned the guy. Guy started yelling at the girl. Girl clowned the guy back. You think that would be the end of it? Nope. Guy went to his car, got a gun, started shooting at them. This is what I'm saying. People they need to learn how to readjust. You're going to see
crazy.
Stories
it's crazy.
Like this.
It's great. There's no, I don't know. No. I listen, I hear what you're saying. Again, I do. I really do. But I also live in the real world. And in the real world, there are people with these issues, but they are not going out and displaying. There's a commonality among the people who are acting like this on these airlines. All right. You guys can go read the stories yourself and you can see what the common denominator is among these people that are on these airlines and has them acting in this way. Okay. I don't know if this just has to do with being isolated and making people forget, but I hope we never get isolated again because it has these people acting really, really messed up right now. And this is scary. Like, you don't even have to get to the country. Like, imagine being on a flight and somebody just wiles out beside you now. on top of all this other stuff you got to worry about. Like, that's crazy.
Let's also not forget they're trying to kick out windows and open doors on a plane.
I mean, yeah. They got to be restrained. I'm not against the duct tape. I think the duct tape is hilarious.
Look, man, if this is not a sign of the times as to what's to come, I don't know what it is. I don't know what is. I mean, maybe Bennu. Have you ever heard of Bennu?
No, I don't know what Bennu is.
Well, Bennu is a massive asteroid that's pretty much possibly maybe not going to hit the Earth in about 100 to 200 years.
Okay. All right.
Scientists have been watching Bennu since 99, and they say there's some good news. I don't know how good you want to. Anyways, so they say the odds of the strike happening has gone up from 1 in 2,700 to 1 in 1,750 over the next, again, 200 years. Now they say if Bennu did hit Earth, it's not going to wipe us out dinosaur style, but it will leave a crater in the Earth like 20 times the size of the actual asteroid.
So a chunk of the Earth is going to be gone.
Pretty much. So
okay.
We're not me and you ain't going to be here for this. But
nope.
What's crazy to me, and when I read this article, like that stood out, that hey, I'm not going to be here for this anyways.
That's the first thing I thought about. I'm not going to lie.
But who's to
somebody
say
else's problem?
But who's to say it's not on its way right now?
It look like a little piece could drop off and start
like
moving faster than
like anything. I mean, I guess really the point that I'm trying to get to is how prepared are we truly? Like, you watch these movies, right? And when there's the asteroid coming to the Earth to destroy the planet as we know it, you know, they hop on the spaceship, they fly out there, they strap the nuclear device to the asteroid, and in an attempt to blow it up, one person gets stuck behind, and it's a big emotional scene, but at the end, the Earth survives. What I'm saying is it's a movie. Yes, cool, great, awesome, entertained. But how far is that from the truth, really? Like, what do we do in that situation? They didn't say what all they said was the odds have slightly increased, but don't worry, it's not going to kill us all. What the fuck? What are you doing?
As long as all of us are going to die.
What are you doing to stop it from hitting the planet? Is what I'm saying.
100 years from now, you got to think about these movies that we watch that are super futuristic and some of the weapons and artillery that they have at their disposal. Now, can we trust it? No, because we all watch Back to the Future. And we should have had flying cars by now and flying hoverboards and a whole bunch of stuff. So, but the thing is, like, in 100 years from now, if this really does become an issue, like the odds increase and keep increasing over time, I guarantee you there's going to be somebody who's going to dedicate their time to create something to eviscerate this asteroid, like totally just make it disintegrate into thin air. Guaranteed. We're talking what is it? 2021? So 21.
Yeah, around there.
21,
22, 21.
It sounds crazy just to say that.
But I mean, you got Elon Musk and you got Bezos dedicating their time, their money, just for luxury trips in outer space.
Yeah.
Just for luxury. How about figuring this shit out? Because I'm saying they've been watching it since 99. They know it's on the way. Cool. You got the long heads up on that. Appreciate it. Keeping us on notice. What about some shit that might pop up tomorrow?
Everybody's thinking the same way you and I were both thinking when we heard this. It's not going to hit us for a while. So we got time. That's what everybody else is thinking. What else could I get done in the meantime? In between time, as my uncle likes to say. What can I get done? You know what I mean? That's nobody cares. It's 100 years. I want to sit here and care, you know what I mean? But like, it's the same thing. We have like global warming. We should be worried about climate change, but also the climate change isn't really going to affect our Earth for the next 50 to 100 years. That's why people are driving around crazy still. They don't care. They don't really care. You know what I'm saying? That's why they're more angry about stuff changing right now. It doesn't affect us. And until it affects a generation of people that's closer to us, nobody's really going to come out and invent anything. For sure, that's not going to happen. I don't think so.
Viewing public, what are your thoughts on this? I mean, again, we're not tapped in. I'm sure you're not tapped in. But do you think that this is something that they're working underneath the underground Area 51's bottom basement? They got some type of little pen missile that could just take out a crater the size of Texas. Like, I'm hoping they actually do. But what are your thoughts? Leave it in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
You know what's funny? Speaking of asteroids, right? I got another asteroid for you. This asteroid hit DC Comics. It's a different type of asteroid. Yeah, this is a different type of asteroid. For those who haven't heard, apparently Robin, better known as the sidekick to Batman, has come out in the most recent issue as bisexual.
Who's surprised?
I mean, let's go through it. So the story goes that Robin said yes to a date with a gentleman named Bernard Dowd. The story goes Robin had a light bulb moment while fighting side by side with Bernard. After coming to his rescue as Robin, Tim later hits up Bernard's pad, and you can see the anticipation building because he hypes himself up, saying, "It's okay, Tim, you got this." When Bernard opens the door, he's on the verge of asking Tim out on a date. Tim Drake, of course, who is Robin. But Tim interrupts him with, "I'm really glad you got home okay. I was relieved, and I've been doing a lot of thinking about that night, and I don't know what it meant to me, not yet, but I'd like to figure it out." I have to get my sexy voice on. That felt like a sexy moment. Bernard responds by saying, "I was hoping you would, Tim Drake."
Dude, you missed it again. Put the voice on. What the hell?
Okay. Sorry. Bernard responds. I don't know if their voices sound the same.
Just do it, damn it.
All right. Bernard responds by saying, "I was hoping you would."
There it is.
"Tim Drake, do you want to go on a date with me?" Robin says yes, and that's where the issue ends. That's the cliffhanger.
Fades to black, just like the Sopranos ending.
Fade to black.
Look, we all know how that ended. It faded to black, and then, you know what? I was going to say something very explicit, but I won't. But again,
I felt. Oh, that's the wrong word for that.
Yeah.
I could see where that.
Yeah.
I understood where you were going with that one. I had to choose my words on that one.
There you go. Listen, Robin's bisexual. No, scratch that. Robin's gay. I think the last time Robin seen a vagina was when he came out of one. That was it. Robin's gay. Nothing is wrong with that. Robin's gay. Robin's a gay superhero. But here's my only issue with that. DC Comics, why didn't you announce this years and years and years and years and years and years and years ago? The only reason why you're announcing this now is because you know it's profitable, it's going to generate interest. That's all it is. You're riding the gay wave, because there's been whispers about this forever. So why not just oblige your public, the people who keep you in business, and be like, yeah, it's true. Even if it wasn't true, just be like, yeah, it's true. Or how about this? Say, no, it's not true. Write him in with some women. Make it clear that he's not gay. They left it open, is what I'm trying to say. And now this is a thing. So they're like, yeah, we could profit off this. Why do you think they made it end the way they did? New comic coming out such and such a date to be continued. Everybody sees you, DC Comics. We see you. We know what you're doing.
My whole thing with this is, why is it important whether he is or not? Like, why is it important? Because this is not the first character that's come out. There's been a lot of characters, superheroes, who have recently come out as either gay or lesbian or whatever have you, right? I want to know why that's important for this now. And I mean, you made a very good point. It's important because it sells.
That's the only reason why it's important.
It's great marketing. The funny thing is, there's people in the community who are so happy about this, so pleased, and don't realize that is really what it's all about. That's really, at the end of the day, they're just trying to make more money. And now they're using you guys to make that money. They're using your sympathy and the sensitivity. They've understood the level of sensitivity that we have in the world towards that community, and they're using it for people to go out and buy these comic books. Because who's buying comic books? Who is buying comic books now? Really nobody. Unless you're all for this and you want to have the issue where Robin Hood comes out as bisexual, as a collector's item. Because that's what it's going to look as.
Listen, prediction. This goes over the way DC wants it to. Prediction. Robin gets his own movie.
I mean, they tried that.
No.
He didn't
No.
really get his own movie. They put
He's
him in the
going
Batman
to get
movie.
his own movie, and
there's gonna be
there will be a lot of homosexual,
I get it.
not activity, but like he'll clearly have a boyfriend. You
Right.
understand what I'm saying?
Right.
If this goes the way they wanted to, he's getting his own movie.
Listen, if they do that in a way that's like, what's a good show that did that? Game of Thrones. If they do it like a Game of Thrones thing, to where, you know, they have those scenes because it makes sense in those times for that type of stuff to happen or whatever, then that's cool. But as long as they don't go overboard with anything that they do in these comic books and these movies and try to overdo it, I'm fine. You know what I mean? I just don't want to see it get carried away, because it always has to, you know, it starts somewhere and it has to evolve from there. And I'm not trying to see that type of evolution. That's just me.
Second prediction. If there's a movie,
yeah,
because we're in the progressive times and everything is, you know, LGBTQ, everything is BLM, Lil Nas X is playing Robin. I'm done. Okay, so listen, when I tell you that, you know, our superheroes are coming out of the closet, which is great. You should be who you are, live your truth. When we talk about superheroes, we think about people that fight crime. Who else fights crime? Obviously the cops. Sometimes the cops cause the crime, but one place, the Windy City, Chicago, with this whole defund the police thing, their budget is $1.6 billion, and the mayor, their budget is currently $1.6 billion with a B.
Billion?
And the mayor wants to increase that budget El Rapido. The reason they want to increase the budget is because a police officer was gunned down. Not accidentally shot. No, they were gunned down.
Right.
Okay. So the mayor, a black mayor, is responding to this in kind, saying this $1.6 billion budget is not enough. They want to use this budget. They want to hire more next generation cops, et cetera, et cetera. My whole issue with this is A, that budget's huge to begin with, but B, one cop, by the way, RIP, condolences to their family. One cop gets gunned down, and let's dump a bunch of money in it to try to make sure this never happens again. This is Chicago. Do you know how many families, black families, urban families, that get ruined every day from gun violence? Can we do something about that? I'm not saying you could literally go and take guns out of these people's hands, but possibly create some after-school programs, possibly create some sports, some music, anything to distract these kids from killing each other. These things cost money. Of course they do. But you already got 1.6 Bs in the police budget. Now you want to increase it? How does that stop the actual violence in that city? Ridiculous. That's all I heard when I read this story. Your thoughts?
I want to know if there's somewhere that you can go to see how the budget is allocated, like where the money goes, because these are government established jobs, right? So there should be some form of transparency. These things should be public record, I'm assuming, right? Like, as far as the budget wise, they should be public record if we're paying for it out of our taxes, right? So I'm wondering if there's somewhere where I can go and see how this budget is being allocated. That way it allows me a better understanding. If you are in Chicago, or you're the person doing this and saying that you need more money, the smart thing to do, if you do really need this money, would to be go to release something that shows how the budget is being allocated to justify the fact that you need this money. Because when you have a budget that is that large and then you come out and say we need more money, nobody's going to understand that.
Nope.
Not one person. Even if we give you benefit of the doubt and you do need the extra cash or whatever, you do need it for whatever, create a new sector or whatever you need to do, nobody's going to believe that, because that number is so outrageous. And these police forces all over the world have to understand something. You work for the people. You are a public servant.
Sorry, I had to say it with you.
You are a public servant. So if the public is not pleased by your service or aware of how your service is being operated, you're going to hear about it, and you're not going to have the best fans about it. The way to get around that, guys, is to be more transparent about your operations. But they don't do that. They don't. And when you don't do that, that looks very sus, extremely sus.
Very
like,
shady.
what are you doing? What are you doing with this money? Where is it going? Right? So as long as these police forces and all of them all around the world choose to operate the way they're operating, talking about we need more money for this, but not exactly explaining where the rest of the money has gone, they're going to continue to have these type of backlashes from the community and these type of talks, and people are just going to keep looking down on the cops, and eventually it's going to turn into more violence, and they're going to justify it by having to hire more cops, which it's a big circle of nothingness.
And I just, before you go to the next topic, my guy, again, I want to point out the budget is already 1.6 billion. They want more. Okay, now you can go.
Well, I mean, we'll leave it to the viewing public to think, man. Do you believe that it's really about this at the end of the day, Deuce Gang? When it comes to the police, their job is to protect and to serve. So of course you want them to have the best resources that they can, best officers, the best technology. You want them to have the best of the best, because the criminals are out there doing what they do.
They're doing the most.
Doing what they do. But do you think that there has to be some form of transparency with how they're paying? On top of that, also, do you think that when they have these extreme budgets that they are justified in asking for more money? I don't know. It looks kind of sus to me when they don't give out the information, but we'll leave it up to you. But I mean, we do talk about budgets a lot. We do talk about, I think we're both kind of frugal. I feel like we're both kind of frugal. I don't like to go out and where you like to go out and splurge and go and spend a little bit of money, right? Every now and then for myself, I like to go out and spend some cash, have some fun. It depends on what I'm doing. I could go to a sporting event. I can go to many things, or I could go to a concert. Heck, I could have went to Kanye's listening party, and I could have spent some money there.
You could have done that.
I wouldn't have been the only one, apparently, though, because apparently Ye is making them dollars off of the merch, off of just the merch from his listening party alone. Kanye has pulled in $7 million
off the merch.
Just off of the merch, off an album that still hasn't dropped yet. And don't forget, this man did not one, but two listening parties on which he revealed a bunch of new music. No album dropped, setting records.
I guess you don't remember when I said he could literally do this all year if he wanted to, right?
I do remember you saying
okay, so now you understand. Look, let's also keep in mind here, people. I did some Googles and the numbers vary, but when he was staying or is staying in the Atlanta Mercedes Stadium, he's spending anywhere between $150K to $1 million a day. So like I said, the numbers vary. So if it's upwards of $1 million, well, this ain't really shit. You made $7 million, great. You've been living there for some reason, for $1 million. But if it's around like $150, okay, well then that about adds up. But I mean, look, I was thinking to myself, why is this nigga living in the stadium? Kanye West makes very big music, and obviously stadiums have a very amazing sound system. So I'm assuming
wild.
When he wants to get his playback, he plays it on that shit. Because, Kanye West is not performing in fucking Lambadina downtown Toronto. he's performing in these stadiums. He wants to make big stadium music. So I'm trying to figure out why you doing that. And that's the only thing I could come up with.
This right here is quite possibly the greatest finesse I've ever seen. This is almost like he found a way to get tenants in the stadium.
Yeah,
for them to rent out the space for a little bit and pay his rent, pay his mortgage.
Pretty much.
He's a landlord. He's a landlord right now, and everybody that went to the listening party is a tenant. That's pretty much what he did. He finessed everybody into paying his fee for whatever it costs for him to stay inside of that stadium, and some probably, and a little bit more.
Listen, Kanye West, I don't want to say as of late, but I'm talking about slavery as a choice days. Kanye West has said some things, done some things that I've just been totally against. He has made some moves more recently that I'm like, okay, that's dope. This included. I'm still waiting on that apology, that sincere apology for those statements. Once that is done, I'm gonna put Kanye West back in his proper place. But let me tell you something, viewing public, Kanye's killing it in the States. But you know one place he couldn't kill it though? You know one place he couldn't do this shit? In Quebec. In Quebec.
Hey, I mean, it's a different world. It's a different world over in Quebec.
You're
apparently.
damn right.
Yeah.
Vaccine passports, you unvaccinated motherfuckers. You can't do none of those non-essential things anymore. Show your passport or take it and go. And
of course, this guy is going to be going wild with this topic because
the Delta
both doses.
Let me say something. Quebec is nasty. In all the provinces, Quebec and Ontario, like we were racing to the finish line. Who's worse? Quebec won. They were worse. They're just starting to get it under control now. They're trying to prevent the fourth wave, kids going back to school, and all these non-essential things you can still do, but not really do. Like, can't go to a gym. What's a couple of the other things? I'm sorry, I have to.
So it's starting in September 1st. It's starting in September 1st.
September 1, yes.
And people are going, if you're not vaccinated, so if you have none of the vaccinations, you are going to be barred from places like bars, restaurants, and gyms. They are talking about possibly extending this to religious places like churches, obviously, and weddings as well. And what this vaccine passport is, it's an app on your phone. It's an app on your phone. And when you go to these places, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to scan this little QR code. And if it turns green, it means you're vaccinated. I'm laughing because this is ridiculous. If it turns green, it means you're fully vaccinated. You're good to go. And if it goes red, and I guess makes a sound possibly to embarrass you and make you further give you more motivation to go get a vaccine, then you're not allowed in the place. Right. So that's how they want to operate it. This is in Quebec and Ottawa. They said that if the provinces want to adopt this individually, they can, but they're making it something to prevent further lockdowns and from this Delta variant that you're speaking about.
Yep. And obviously, I guess I know how you feel about that.
I mean, you know how I feel. You know how I feel about it because we've spoke about this. I told you I don't care what they do. They're not going to convince me to get this vaccine. It's just not going to happen for me. That's my personal decision that I should be allowed to make. The fact that they continue to do things though, to pretty much say that if you're not vaccinated, you're a different species at this point and we're going to recognize you as such is crazy to me. It's not that I don't care about other people's safety. I am obviously concerned about other people's safety. I'm not out here trying to give anybody COVID or trying to pass it around or anything like that. But I should also have the right to make my own decisions, man.
So with that, this is the decision, and I understand your point, but this is the decision that people are left with. I have the vid, okay? Mm-hmm. All my friends are going to this thing. I have no symptoms. I feel great. I could backflip, but I have the vid. All my friends are going to this thing, and it's outdoor. Should I stay home? Should I not? I don't got no symptoms. They're not gonna know. I'm going. That's the decision that people are faced with every single day.
Right.
I'm not saying it's just that decision and decisions like that have caused this thing to run rampant. Obviously not. But people are faced with that decision and they still do it. I got a text message today, and I'm not going to go on a rant. We'll wrap. But I got a text today from one of my homies who's now free of said virus. But it said, hey, let's come through. Let's kick it. I'm like, bro, I can't take the chance. And he got it, obviously.
Right.
But I'm just saying, like, the thought still crossed his mind that maybe I should go do this. So that's why they're saying, I'm going to make the decision for you in a sense, whether or not you can attend this thing or
it's pretty much what they're doing. It's pretty much what everybody is trying to do. They're trying to make the decision for you without telling you that they're doing it by doing certain things like this. And we've spoken about other things that other people have done and other communities have done, other schools have done, other states have done in order to let's say, persuade people to get vaccinated by them, if like there being certain penalties if they don't. And I get it. What does it say right here? It says right here that the Canadian case count increased by 60% over the past week to an average of over 1,300 new cases a day. The vast majority of the new cases are among the unvaccinated. So there's numbers to back it. I got it. But guess what? Obviously, the cases that are going to be more are going to be the people who are unvaccinated. Your vaccine should work. Congratulations on doing your job. Don't report stuff like that. That to me, and the way it's being reported and worded like that, is obvious. That's common sense. The vast majority is going to be unvaccinated.
Yeah, basically the government is slut shaming.
They're making you feel guilty. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, think about it.
Good. Shame is good. Shame is good. Shame is great.
You get this app on your phone. Everybody's walking up and it's ding, 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 because it's turning green, and there's gonna be a great sound to go with it. I know it. I can't wait to hear the sound.
No, the sound is gonna be
like a heavenly.
No, the sound is gonna be thank you. You are awesome. That's gonna be the sound.
And then here goes me now. Here goes me with the app, knowing my ass didn't get no vaccine, but trying to con them somehow, thinking I'm gonna win. I go up there, it flashes red, it gives the demon sound.
Social pariah, drag him out now. Listen, man. Honestly, viewing public, we've talked it to death and we will continue to do so. But what are your thoughts on this? Are you for it? We are in the wonderful province of Ontario. Are you for it in our province? Leave it in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, man.
There's a lot of stupid things going on in today's world, man. There's a lot of stupid things, but there's one stupid criminal that this criminal takes the criminal of all criminals. I think this is stupid as stupid does. Okay. I don't know if you've heard about this, but this is a story. This is a story about 29-year-old Matthew Rupert of Galesburg, Illinois.
Okay.
Let's open to page one. Page one, the story begins. Rupert, after seeing the George Floyd incident and hearing about the protest, decides that he is going to take his ass from Illinois all the way to Minnesota. That's 400 miles away, for those who don't know. He decides to go down there to protest for George Floyd. Great. Amazing.
I like him
the
so
dedication.
far.
Yeah, the dedication is amazing. Is amazing. During this trip, however, Rupert gets a little carried away. He finds himself near a store, and I don't know if I'm going to name the store. I don't think I'm going to. I'm just going to say he finds himself near a store. And this store is boarded up. It's protected because they knew these protests were coming and they wanted to protect their store. He decided to go inside, encourage people to collect a pile of boxes, and then proceeded to light those boxes on fire, right?
Oh.
So now, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Matthew Rupert is passionate. Matthew Rupert is passionate about what he's doing, okay? He got people to join along. Meanwhile, he's yelling, I lit it on fire. As he's running away from the store, I lit it on fire. There goes Matthew with his golden smile right there. All of this is great. All of this is wonderful. You know, he could also be heard in various scenes saying, I've got some bombs if y'all want to go and throw them.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's good.
He came prepared.
You want. This is listen. He came so prepared that he decided he was going to film himself.
Oh God. Stop that.
In what could be deemed quite possibly the dumbest act of life. Matthew Rupert decided not only to film himself, but to live stream his actions during this protest.
Why not?
Really? Why not? Hey, I have no answer for that. That's why I just moved on. Matthew Rupert, surprisingly, got caught. Got caught by the cops.
I can't believe it. That's the most unbelievable part of the story, that he got caught. But I digress. Go ahead.
He got caught and has recently been sentenced to 9 years, 3 of which will be supervised monitoring probation or some crap like that, right? The best part about this whole thing was the statement that the U.S. attorney gave to describe Matthew Rupert to the public. And I digress. Matthew Rupert chose to drive more than 400 miles from his home in Illinois to Minnesota to engage in violence and destruction, all while broadcasting it for the world to see. Peaceful protest was not on his agenda. Arson, looting, property damage, and glorification of it will not be tolerated today. Today, justice has caught up with Mr. Rupert, and he now must account for his crimes. Matthew Rupert, how you doing? My name's My Guy. I do a podcast with my boy over here. That's this guy. I'm not sure if you've watched it. We've spoken about some people who operate with your mentality, with your passion, with your love, with your vigor, with your vim, if you will. There's one thing that we say consistently when it comes to these type of actions. There is a weapon that is always more dangerous than a gun. This guy, what is that weapon?
Camera, man. Come on.
You don't never film yourself, Matthew.
What he did was the equivalent of suicide. Look, I love it when my Caucasian brothers and sisters get righteous. You understand what I'm saying? And they rebel. Clearly, this thing has been rebelling for a very long time, probably against soap, toothbrush and other things, other forms of hygiene.
Listen, no, don't be rude to Matthew because honestly, I like what he did. Sprint. I mean, I named this. I'm sorry. It slipped out. His store name slipped out. I was trying to keep it. They did nothing. They did nothing to George Floyd. They did nothing. But the destruction of property in response to what happened to George Floyd, cool. I'm about it because you're not listening to words. So you're about that action. It's just, the camera.
Listen, Matthew is his name?
Matthew Rupert, yes.
Matthew, we thank you for your service.
Mr. Rupert, we thank you for your sacrifice.
Your sacrifice.
Your diligence.
And your service. Your dedication too. 400 miles. Yeah, so he takes the cake, viewing public, unless I might have a close runner up.
Yeah? Really?
South Carolina man arrested for tattooing a child inside a McDonald's.
Listen, once you started with South Carolina, I said, okay, you know what? You might have something there. Them country folks act different.
Brandon Fresha, 28 years old of Lawrence, South Carolina, was arrested on Tuesday on charges of illegally tattooing an underage person. So here's the kicker. I'll get to that in a second, but here's the kicker. When you talk about cameras, the incident occurred on August 6th when local authorities were tagged in a social media post showing the child receiving a face tattoo inside the McDonald's. Now, Fresha, his bond right now is being posted at $25,000. But to your point again, why are you tattooing a child's face in a McDonald's if you're going to do something like that? Possibly the privacy of your own home, some sort of back alley, but in a public place, and then to compound it, let's put that shit on social media.
Hey, there's two things, I guess, in South Carolina that show that you are a grown man, and that is the big man tattoo and the Big Mac burger. So
listen,
he combined both.
Listen, viewing public, what are your thoughts on this situation? And really though, I actually knew a guy, I won't drop his name, but when he was in grade 6, he got a tattoo, like right here, not on his face, but he got a tattoo. Viewing public, what are your thoughts on tattoos? At what age should that happen? Seriously.
Shout out to the good parents out there. Shout out to the good parenting and all the parents that pay attention to their children and give them what they need in life. Shout out to you.
Absolutely. You guys are 100% winning. I mean, like, based on this kid's life choices, I'm inclined to believe that it's possibly one of Future's many kids. Future has 6 baby mamas, 6 kids with 6 different women. And this is not a knock on the children. This is a knock on the parenting. Now, I don't know how true this is. I mean, it's the internet after all, you can make shit up. But one of Future's baby mamas, Brittany, basically said that Future sent his child a text message calling her a hoe. So basically the story is this: on August the 10th, on August the 10th, yeah, that happened.
Okay. All right, I'm good. I was out. Okay.
So basically, apparently the son asked Future to can you buy me some new clothes, Dad? Back to school shopping, perhaps? Future randomly sends, your mom's a hoe.
Oh.
So really, there's no even just your mom's a hoe. So that, parenting, right? Parenting 101. Now, again, you could really create anything on the internet. She put this on her Instagram story and then later on deleted it, or maybe just deleted it on its own after 24 hours. But
the last person on earth that can call anybody a hoe is Future. Like, how can he even use that term and feel like he's justified in using that term? You have the proof to show that you're a hoe. You're not just a hoe, but unfortunately, you're a hoe on a next level that can't even control your wholeness. Like, you're hoeing to the point where you're having children off of your hoe. You know you're a hoe, but you can't control the hoe to the hoe levels where you're not hoeing children out. But you calling other people hoe? Hoe, please.
She's a hoe.
Hoe, please. Hoe, please.
Listen, but here's the other thing too. Can we look at it from the other side as well?
What other side?
You really need to watch who you have children with.
I mean,
okay?
Yeah.
And that could be said on both sides. From the woman's side, man, why you want to have a kid with Future? He's got so many baby mamas. But also from But also from Future's side, right? So again, you can create anything. It was a text message. Dude, I can create a text message right now and put it on my story that Drake wants to do a song with me. How are you gonna know the difference?
Man,
I'm just saying. So what, and when you're a public figure, this is not stuff that you want out there. So this could really damage your brand if it's not damaged. Speaking of Future now, if it's not already damaged enough when it comes to these type of issues with the multiple baby mamas, etc. So what I'm saying here, the lesson is, children, watch the club that you shoot up, because the club looks great on the outside. Beautiful, in fact. But on the inside, it's nasty. Message. Anyways, viewing public, what are your thoughts there? Do you think this text message was real? Do you think Future is callous enough to text his 8-year-old son randomly, might I add you? This is the context. Dad, can I have some clothes for back to school? What, nigga? Yo, mama's a hoe. Do you really think Future did that? Like, honestly, it makes no sense.
There's a whole bunch of rumors about why that happened and everything, whatever. I heard that he was trying to get like back sexually active with her and she turned him down. So that's why he ended up doing this. But that's just one alleged rumor of why he did this and why he was angry. But even so, you don't text that to your son.
If he did.
If he did, you don't text that to your child. They don't need to know about that. You, like I said before, are the last person who should be texting that, because your son that you probably text message probably hasn't met his other brothers and sisters. Ouch. Because they're probably scattered all across the nation. Ouch. And they've never met each other. Okay. They've plenty of holidays and birthdays and all these things. I know your ass isn't going to all of those things. So before you sit there and you judge somebody else and you want to be texting, this thing just makes me angry because it's like a kid's involved and shit.
Absolutely, as it should.
You know what I'm saying? And my voice is calm. That's how you know I'm really pissed off. But like, he just needs to control himself, because I get that he's making money and people are fucking with him right now, but I think he forgets the time when nobody was fucking with him in music and he wasn't making the money that he was making. It can go right back to that real quick.
100%.
Real fast.
100%.
Real fast. Just keep moving the way you're moving, homie. Just keep moving the way you're moving.
Well, viewing public, what are your thoughts? Do you think this was a real text message? Again, do you think Future is callous enough to do that? I don't know, man. I mean, I don't follow Future at all, but to me, this just seems so left, not in terms of the context, because you just provided some more, but it just seems so left in terms of that, like who would do that? I would hope that this is a fake story. But what are your thoughts? Leave it in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yes, sir.
I want to take it local for a second. I want to go to your alma mater, which is, what school did you go to, homie?
I went to a lot of schools. I'm not going to fall into your trap.
UFT is one of them. And so the University of Toronto will be requiring students, staff, faculty, and visitors attending the campus.
I hate this story.
This fall to be fully vaccinated. Vaccination requirement for those living in its student residence and participating in high-risk school activities like athletics, educational placements, and music instruction. Those who are not vaccinated will be required to participate in its rapid screening program, use at-home kits twice a week, and need to have a negative test result 72 hours before coming onto the campus. This is a statement that the university put out. Now, we know your university days are behind you. We know how you feel about schools and, forcing these vaccinations, et cetera, but I had to bring this up because we talked about that little local college in West Virginia charging $750 if you're not
right.
UFT is not a little school and they're not charging. But again, your alma mater. I don't even want to say anything else. I need you to take us out with your thoughts on this. Not from a general standpoint, school shit. I'm talking about, here's where you went, nigga. This could have been you.
So let's put me in a situation then. Let's say that this was my first year and I was attending. You know what I mean? Let's take it back to that time.
And you got 2 minutes. I'm sorry.
That's fine. That's fine. No, that's cool. We can take it back. It's not going to be long. It's as simple as this for me, man. I wanted to go to that school. That was one of my goals. It's one of the things and one of my family things and all that stuff. And it was a big, big goal for me to achieve, to get in and be accepted. If I was going to the school and this was a requirement, they're not charging, but it's a requirement for me to go to the school. This is different from the other one. This is different from the other one for me. And I'm not just being biased because it's my school, but I like the way they're operating this because they're still maintaining that safety that you want, but they're not overcharging the students because they're already making money from the students and they recognize that too, right? So they're accomplishing the same goal without having to say to people, listen, now this is going to cost, we're going to put this cost on you. No. They're just saying that if you want to attend and you don't want to get vaccinated, that's fine. But now you just have to undergo some tests to make sure that you don't get this virus during the semester, during school. It makes perfect sense to me. So UFT, I applaud you. Once again, you show why you are the dominant school in the nation and quite possibly the world. And I congratulate you on your intelligence and passing it on to me.
Oh, wow. I got to be honest with you. I thought that was going to go totally the other way. But I will say this. I'm happy to see when it comes to this topic, they finally did something right. So I like that. Viewing public, students that will be attending that school this semester, current students, what are your thoughts? He's long out of there. He's out. He left. What, you're there now or going there? What are your thoughts about this? We want to hear from you. Leave it in the comments. This definitely won't be the last time we talk about this. We said we weren't going to talk about it, but we're being smart now. YouTube. We're being
okay.
Don't flag this. We're being smart about the content.
Don't ruin it.
About the content. So viewing public, what are your thoughts? Leave it in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, mask up, and social distance. Biatches. Deuces.
I mean, if we were talking about like York or Western, I would hate this idea.
Now, deuces.
Yo, thanks for watching that video, making it all the way to the end. You made it this far, you have to like. Please subscribe and comment on the video as well. Join the conversation.
Absolutely. We finally hit our goal of 500 subscribers. Yes, we are trying to get to 1,000. And we can only do that with your help. You can start by watching that next video. You see that tiny little icon? Click on that icon, rinse and repeat. Deuces.